It has been exactly 1 year since President Obama signed his stimulus plan. With more on the tone in Washington, D.C. today, we take you there now. Julianna Goldman joins us with more. Julianna.
Well, Deirdre, it feels almost like an election day today. Everyone's in full-out campaign mode. Republicans are saying the stimulus hasn't worked. Democrats are praising the stimulus. You hear from Christina Romer defending the administration against some of those criticisms. But the White House is hitting this hard. They're dispatching some 25 administration officials across the country this week to defend the stimulus. And let's take a look at some of the numbers that they want you to hear and that they don't want you to hear. The first number, $862 billion. That is the total cost of the stimulus right now. The CBO has upped the original projection of $787 billion that we've been talking about all year. The White House is saying that the stimulus so far has created or saved 2 million jobs. And also, in terms of GDP, the White House says that it added up to 3 percentage points of real GDP in the fourth quarter. The stimulus is on track, they say, to hit 3.5 million jobs by the end of this year. And in terms of how much has been spent, they say $453 billion in spending and tax cuts has been obligated, Deirdre, but only a third of the total amount of that stimulus has been spent. And so how does the American public feel about this? Not great. According to a recent poll, only 6% of Americans actually say that the stimulus is creating jobs.
Julianna, we spoke with the chairman about that, Christina Romer. What do you explain the gap by? What are your sources telling you?
Well, one of the things that she said was that when you ask Americans about the individual pieces of the bill, like tax cuts, they like that. But when you look at the whole, they just can't wrap their hands around it. But also, Deirdre, unemployment is still pretty close to 10%. The administration still thinks that by their own projections that unemployment is going to stay around 10% this year, even with the stimulus package. You know, also Republicans all year have waged a really fierce battle against the stimulus plan, and they've been quick to jump on any signs, any questionable spending. So, for example, money that went to a wine train tour in Napa Valley. Also, the cost of some of the signs when you're driving on the highway and you see signs that say this is your stimulus money at work. Some of those signs are costing thousands of dollars a piece. New York State alone is spending $1 million just on signs.